Welcome, Facebook and YouTube viewers. This is your wonderful friend, the Toy Man, CJ Dellinger, here with another wonderful podcast for you. So first off, we introduce Adrian, or as we call him, Frogs.
Hello, everybody. Faiz is here.
That was awesome.
Oh boy. And then next we have Thomas.
I'm always put in last, aren't I? Even though I'm the one who made this podcast, gosh darn it. But anyways, welcome everyone.
Nevertheless. Okay, so tonight we have a wonderful podcast for you. But before we get right down to our main topic, we have a few articles that we have to talk about. So the first one that we have is about Kamen Rider Drive. Yay! It now has a new toy brought out. So we have the first screenshots of the figure that we were going to be seeing. So, let's see. Do we have a screen share? We do not have a screen share.
I will do that. Give me a moment. I apologize. I'm not used to doing screen shares because Noah's not here. So, no, let me do it. I do it. There we go. Can you see?
There we go.
Yeah.
As you can see, it is Type 1 speed, and his and his wonderful tireness.
Tiredness.
Don't judge. So
don't judge.
So, Thomas, what's your opinion of this?
I think it looks nice. Just like I said with the design, I think it's pretty cool. Tires slightly clunky, but and yes, I know you can disagree with that as much as you want, but for me, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's kind of cool. And yes, the tire's kind of clunky, but I am willing to look that over because the rest of the design is amazing to me. And I love how each of the tires actually has a name. Like, what is it? This tire is what type speed on it, and then the regular tire, and then the flaming tire has max flare on it, which is the name of the car that you use. The shift car, Max Flare. So yeah. So that's actually pretty cool, to be honest.
If you kind of look at the orange tire, it kind of looks like an orange slice, paying homage to Gaim. But that's just me.
Do I need to get out the orange? I have an orange right here, and I'm not afraid to get it out.
We don't need to do that.
No, I'm doing it. Give me a moment. Gosh darn it, I have to switch tabs a minute.
Anyway.
I have to do the face. Wait, why doesn't the lock activate?
Anywho.
Sorry.
Adrian, what is your opinion?
I think the toy doesn't look bad. It looks pretty cool. We're gonna call it the tire change figures. That's what
pretty much. I mean, right now, until we're told otherwise, I think it's just going to be a tire change.
I actually think a part of me actually does think that's actually going to be what TK stands for, tire something.
Maybe. It's possible.
That would be interesting, though.
Anyway, moving on. So we now have final pictures of the Tokkyuuger DX Dai Kaiten cannon. That's what I said. This thing is huge. Bit of a spoiler alert for anyone who is going to watch Tokkyuuger tomorrow or download it when it comes available from Overtime. Wonderful shout out to Overtime peoples. We will get to see a battleizer form, basically, of Kamen Rider. Good God, of Tokkyu Ichigo. So, the cannon. What do you have to say about it, Adrian? All right, you.
I'm just like, what the hell is this thing?
Yes.
What real? What is this? I think I'm officially like 9 or 10 episodes behind the Tokkyuuger, so I'm pretty.
Well, this actually hasn't been introduced yet in the show. This actually gets introduced tomorrow.
Real.
Yes.
Like,
so,
oh my gosh.
um,
So that means like I just keep getting every time I hop on this podcast, I just keep getting spoiled on Tokkyuuger.
Hey, that's what you get.
I guess there's just no way out of this.
So,
Yeah,
well,
he gets
you
an
know,
upgrade
it happens.
form. Here's the thing, though. Why is it just Hypa, Tokkyu, Ichigo? I'm just like, why only him? Why does only the guy with... Sorry. Why does only the guy with the strongest imagination get the power-up?
Because you just said it yourself.
Well, technically, actually, no. Technically, if you remember in the series, and we're kind of getting a smidgen off topic with this, but I do have to mention that it actually is not Raito who has the most powerful imagination. It's actually Kagura, because remember, she's the one that has to psych herself up almost every episode. It's like, I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong. So
And it's just like, boom!
yes.
And it's like, damn!
So, Monsieur Thomas, what do you have to say?
It looks, to say the least, it looks very interesting to me with the canon and everything. I kind of like the idea of having the 5 Reshas kind of, it's kind of like a circle. It's supposed to be like this big revolving cannon thingy, and I'm just like, it looks kind of cool, but also it's the fact that I'm just like, why is it only that he gets the power-up? I understand the idea, but still, why is he the only one to get the power-up? I think... I believe they should have gone the Shinkenger route and found a way to give all of them the power-up. And I don't know why, but even though this is made by the Shinkenger team, this looks a lot more like Super Goseiger than it does Super Shinkenger to me, with the massive amount of gold. Though the gold doesn't have any other colors. Like, I've been looking like the little picture of Hypa Tokkyu Ichigo on the little box, and I'm thinking, and I've even looked at some other pictures from the preview of 27 and everything, and I'm like, it's so... I know it's very chromy and very shiny and gold, but besides that, it's very monochromatic, actually, and it just doesn't look as good as I think it should. And I'm like, why not be able to make something a little bit more unique? Look at Shinkenger's theme. It had a freaking coat, like a samurai coat and all of this other stuff, and I'm just like, holy, that looks really cool. And you can use it with all the Rangers, but in this case, you can only use it for Hypa Tokkyu Ichigo because he has a steam engine on one of his shoulders. Herm.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
Frustrating.
well, here's the thing. I mean, yes, I see what you're saying, but at the same time, generally the red one is the one that gets the primary power-up.
It's like, have you not seen Power Rangers at all?
No, I know he's the one who gets the primary power-up, but I know he gets the one that gets the primary power-up. And yes, I'm thinking Shinkenger Tokkyuuger again, but I'm thinking, why couldn't they found a way to make it to where the Hyper Resha could alternate between? Think about this way. Think about the Norikae changes, the rail changing things. If they could find a way to incorporate the Hyper Resha into that somehow.
Here's the thing. We don't know what they're planning on doing with that. They possibly could do that. It could potentially be that Raito is the one that gets it first, and then down the line, it goes to some of the others. We don't know what's going to happen with that. It's still too early.
This thing could just be too strong for the rest of them.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I understand your point. I just wish they would be able to do something a little bit more creative with it. But it is pretty cool to have like the Buster and everything there. So that is kind of cool, to be honest. But that's really my thoughts.
I know the person who usually watches this and he communicates with me on Facebook, JC, he is saying that the cannon kind of looks like a station from Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, very much so. I can agree with the station thing, most definitely.
Well, and I see it, but I mean, I think that's supposed to be the point. You know, it's supposed to look all big and bad, and just like all the trains are going there. Hint. But anyway, that's getting a whole other topic. All right, moving on to our last topic, to our last news article. We have a new Rider movie.
Yes, give me a moment and I will screen share
Um,
for you.
Kamen Rider Drive and Gaim Movie Wars 2015.
Yes,
to premiere
5 years since the original 2010. Wow!
So, I mean, it looks awesome. It's supposed to premiere this December 13th. So, there's going to be a crossover between the two. Yay!
As expected.
As expected, of course. I'm just going to be interested to see how they do it. I mean, every time that there's like a movie war, or every time that there's like a crossover between the two, between the past writer and then the present writer, or even the present writer and possibly a future writer, you know, it can sometimes end a little badly. So for one of them,
Give me one moment, be back.
so I don't know what's going to happen with all that. I have good hopes for it though. Apparently there. I don't know if any of y'all know this, but there's going to be a new Kamen Rider brought in to this series called Kamen Rider Jam. Were you familiar with this, Adrian? Tagaime, yes.
Yeah,
Before the end of the series, there will be another rider introduced.
Yeah, I found out about this like 2 weeks ago.
Ah, do you know who is playing said rider?
No, but I don't want to know.
You don't want to know the actor?
No.
You sure?
I'll just find out when I watch it.
Okay.
I mean, I thought it was a pretty big spoiler for when I found out there was another new writer, and I didn't want to know if there was going to be a new writer. I would have rather been surprised.
Well, I think this one actually kind of took a lot of people by surprise, because I think the mindset that a lot of people had was that there were already a lot of writers that had been introduced, and they did not think that another one was going to get introduced, because you had the original guys, and you had all the Genesis drivers, then you had 15 come along, and so not counting 15, there were all these other drivers that were brought in like crazy.
I was hoping the new writer would be the fruit bar owner or whatever.
You know, that would have been interesting. That would have been interesting to see.
It's because he's been a writer in everything else he's been in.
Well, I do vaguely remember that. So that would have been interesting to have witnessed.
So I was like, yes, let's give it one more time. Let's keep this tradition going. Let's have you getting soup one more time.
But it's going to be one heck of a shock when you find out who's going to play the writer. Which
some ass face put a link in freaking Facebook Kamen Riders, and I read some of the description. I stopped myself because I.
Oh, I don't blame you. If you don't want it spoiled, then stop reading right now. All right, Thomas, are you back? Yes.
Let's talk about this movie.
The movie.
So I'm assuming at the very, just like all movies, there's always something at the very end. So I'm just gonna assume that at the very end of the movie, I don't know, maybe Drive's side rider appears.
Well, another possibility and something that I have seen with a lot of these rider movies, and it's a possibility. It could happen, might not. Is that it's actually going to introduce the next team of Sentai, because that's what a lot of these rider movies have done. When there's like a combo between them, sometimes they introduce the next team of Sentai, but it's too early. But in that case, though, it's kind of too early to be introducing those guys, unless they decide to end Tokkyuuger early, because as we've seen, it's already episode 26 or 27 tomorrow, and they're already getting the Battleizer. Usually, the Battleizer is either midway through the series or a little bit closer to the end. Just depends on which one you watch. I don't know. I'm still hesitant with Drive, though. I mean, I know we talk about Drive, and I know I'm going blue in the face with this, but I am still extremely hesitant about this series. Because, I mean, if it's the same writers who wrote Double, I have a bad feeling it's going to be written like Double, as Volt, our other person, has said, who unfortunately is not feeling well, so he had to take the night off. As he has said, it's like, hey, I like that Axel character that I created back in Double. Let's make another one and make him the main character of this series. So that's what I'm afraid they're doing. But we'll see what happens.
Okay, what did I miss?
You have not missed much. So, real quick, really quick, your opinions of this movie.
Not really much to show about it. 5th year anniversary since since they started the movie war thing. Hopefully that means they'll do something big. Don't really know for sure, but it's Movie War 2015, and the original is Movie War 2010, so it's like, hopefully they do something awesome. It just all depends. But maybe this will actually, I kind of heard something about, like, Ryuki and all. I'm thinking, if you guys are thinking about Gaim, I'm thinking that maybe if Gaim's coming back, hopefully that means he may not actually, you know, kick the can, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Other things, but either way, that's all another series. We'll cover that soon, hopefully. Spoiler alert, we're going to be doing that soon. We're going to be doing Gaim soon.
Okay. All right.
Fine. Anyways, let's get to this thing.
All right. Well, for the moment you've all been waiting for, it is now time to open your eyes for the next Faiz.
And where's Adrian?
Mr. Falcone.
There he is.
Wunderbar.
There you are.
Alrighty. So, if you cannot tell, we have decided to review the first 14 episodes of Kamen Rider Faiz. So, there's so much I could say about this series right now, and we would go on until like 5 a.m., but I'm not gonna do that.
Are we on Faiz now? Sorry, my internet, I don't know, my thing keeps like crapping out on me.
Yes,
it's fine. We're on 5 now.
So wait.
We just started. You didn't miss anything.
Oh, you broke it.
I just wanted to do
that. Never mind. All right.
I'm actually CJ. Since you were the one who's really into this, I actually want to hear your thoughts first. Honestly.
Okay. So, first and foremost, just giving my basic opinion, and then we'll break everything down. So that's the way we'll do it. We'll do just general opinion of first 14 episodes, or what we have watched, and then we'll break it down piece by piece. So, honestly, I will have to admit the series had a bit of a slow start. It was kind of slow at the beginning.
Always.
Well, not always. I mean, some series, they grab you right then and there. And then others, they're kind of slow to get into their role. It's like it takes them a little bit to, this is how we're going to do it. But once they get to that point, like what Faiz has done, oh my God.
So you're saying like Faiz is like another Gaim, is what you're saying?
Yes. It's one of those that you kind of get introduced to a bit of the plot in the first. It's not okay. It's like Gaim in that it's kind of a slow start, but it's unlike Gaim in the fact that it does not take 10 episodes to get to the plot. You pretty much get to the plot in like the first 3, I think. Mm-hmm. First maybe 4, but anywho. So it's one of those things.
You felt that way?
I saw it that way just because they did when they were doing like the introduction of Takumi and Mari, and then of course them fighting the one Orphnoch. I was like, okay, okay, what's and of course you have Mari and Takumi fighting in the first episode, just bickering back and forth like an old married couple. Well, that's what they were acting like, was an old married couple.
Yes, I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
But once it picked up in like episode 3, and that's when I personally feel it really picked up. Oh my God! It just sort of grabs hold, and it just sort of sucks, just pulls you along. It's like, dude, watch me. That's all you can do is watch me. That's all I want you to do. Watch me. and it's I'll put it this way. Where I work with a lot of kids. The kids are known to come into the office all the time, and when it's a dead day, I'm in the office watching the series. They have been known to sit down in the chairs in the office and watch this series with me. Same for Dino, same for Kiva. You name it, they have watched it with me.
Oh, heck yes. I need to meet these kids. I need to now.
Faiz is not a show for kids.
No, it isn't. Because, the thing about Kamen Rider, they could not bring it to the U.S.
They couldn't.
In any way, shape, or form, because it has too much death. That's the thing that I don't think a lot of people understand about Kamen Rider. Super Sentai kind of glides over it. They kind of like little touch base on it, but they don't really go into it mega depth. Kamen Rider, on the other hand, it goes into it mega depth. I mean, when you watch people getting stabbed and having vines go down their throats and ears and killing their organs, or in the case of Wizard, kind of going off topic here, in the case of Wizard, you have them, bursting into these evil critters. It's the fact that death gets covered a lot in Kamen Rider makes it to where this series is just impossible to bring to the U.S. And I like that about that.
Well, they can really edit over that. I mean, look what happened to Black RX. Like,
true. They could, but here's the thing. If they were to try to do that, if they were to try to do a lot of the editing like what they did back then, they would lose a lot of story. Like I would be willing to bet that a lot of the things that get shown, in terms of story progression, would probably not make much sense. It would have to be geared towards kids that are not really old enough to comprehend that. Anyone older than a certain age would be able to be like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. We're getting from point A to point B to point D.
To point Z?
No, D. Point C is kind of ambiguous. It's like, we're not going linear. This is kind of going all over the place.
But I understand your point about all of that. But back on topic, you were saying about Faiz.
So, so far, we have seen the greatest amount just in the first 14 episodes, and I'm saying first 14 because I've gone beyond that, and I know Frogs here has watched the entire series.
I have.
So, but just in the first 14 episodes, there is so much character development in that little amount of time. It's freaking awesome. Like, we didn't even get that with Gaim. We didn't get that much character development in the first 10 episodes of Gaim. There was no character development, really. And so the fact that in the first 14, there has been such a huge amount of character development of Takumi and Kazuba and Mari and the other dude. What is his name? I forgot his name. But anyway, the fact that there's been already that much character development of those in just 14 episodes is freaking amazing.
Hold on.
So, before we go into the top, into really hitting it, Thomas, your opinion on what you've been able to watch.
What I've been able to watch, it's as usual, CJ. You hit it right on the nose. It is a very interesting series, and yeah, it does have definitely a slow start. As you said, not nearly as slow as Gaim, but somewhat slow near the beginning. But its plot definitely kicks into main gear, and when it does, oh boy, does it kick into main gear. And it's actually pretty good. I've heard a lot of people say bad things about Faiz, and I'm just looking at it from a little bit of a new perspective, and there are some things I don't understand completely yet. Sorry, fly in the room. There are some things I don't completely and absolutely understand yet, completely off the bat. Like, I don't understand exactly what the Orphnochs are, exactly what this is, or exactly what that is. I can kind of infer a little bit from some of the Kamen Rider I've seen. I can predict what things are going to happen, what things are going to be, but I'm like, I don't know exactly for sure. But
Faiz, you can't. I don't think you can predict Faiz. Faiz is like getting a gun, pointing it up in the air, and then firing, and then pretending like you know where the bullet's gonna land.
Exactly.
Just from what I've seen, I would say that that's a very accurate description.
Yes, I would have to probably agree with that. That I can't really predict what Faiz is gonna do. I can predict little bits here and there, little tiny things, but that's because those are just Kamen Rider tropes in general. But yeah, so far, character development is good. Everything is pretty interesting. You pretty much hit everything on the nose, CJ. The only other thing I would need to add is that the camera work is really good. Like, I love some of the handheld stuff that they use, that there's not as much handheld stuff anymore, and it gives this atmosphere, gives this really, really nice atmosphere to a lot of the shots. And the designs of Faiz, oh god, the designs of Faiz are phenomenal. I love that suit. I'm in love with that suit. I'm in love with all the suits. I'm in love with Kai's suit. I'm in love with Faiz's.
You know Faiz is a shark?
Well, weird. I thought...
That's a fun fact. You know he's a shark, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But, I can kind of get that. But either way, yeah, pretty interesting in general. Still have to finish the entire series to get through. This is going to be on my list of incomplete series like Den-O, because I still haven't watched all of Den-O. Darn you, school. What have you done to me? But either way, yeah.
Excuses.
Pretty interesting so far. I'm not making excuses. I'm just
I know you're not.
School. But yeah, not only that, but it definitely has some potential for the stories. The designs, the fight, the camera work, all that is really good. Especially for the time period, especially for what, 03, I believe this is? Over a decade ago. Over a decade ago, this thing still has really good camera work, and the effects and stuff still hold up. The only effect that I don't like is the fact that when he does, like, the kicking and everything, and there's, like, the big blue explosion, how, like, it's, like, the explosion, and then it goes into dust, instead of both of them happen at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
How it explodes into dust instead of the explosion and then it turning into dust.
It's not really an explosion though.
No, I understand that.
I mean, it's not. I mean, if it was an explosion, it'd go kaboom. And they don't go kaboom. They just catch on fire.
Oh no, there are some kabooms.
Yeah, there are some kabooms. Some.
Did you get to the part where frickin' Kaiza and Faiz started fighting, and then Kaiza whipped out his motorcycle?
Oh yes, I got there. Holy crap! Holy crap! I'd just be looking at it and be like, oh shit. But anyway. So, real quick, Adrian, you, and please, We know you have seen the whole series, so keep this within the span of the first 14 episodes.
Oh, well, all I gotta say is, if you're gonna watch Faiz, you don't know what you're getting yourselves into. Don't get attached to anybody, ever.
Oh God, that makes me afraid. That makes me immediately afraid.
Don't get attached to anybody, and if you like a character, you should probably stop yourself from liking that character, because they most likely won't last.
Oh God, thanks a lot.
Yeah, there are characters that I'm like, oh, this is a cool character. I hope they stay throughout the entire show. Die, same episode.
That's been happening. That's kind of been happening with what I have seen, and I'm not. It's like, I didn't want you to die. But all right.
No,
You know what's weird though? You know what's the sad thing? The only character that I really want, it feels weird. It's like the only character in the entire show that I really want to die doesn't die. Dang you, Kusaka! Darn you! Down to whatever.
We know he dies later though.
Yay! Woohoo! We know he gets retribution!
Anywho, Mr.
Hopefully another antagonist from another recent Kamen Rider series gets a similar retribution.
Anyway, Mr. Falcone.
But yeah, I don't know. I really like Faiz. I like Faiz a lot. I have both the Faiz and the Kiba HDM. And I have them staring at each other right now because they hate each other. I mean, I could go into that some more because there's some crazy shit that happens between Kiba and Faiz or Takumi.
No, thank you.
Let's go later. Let's not do that because that's for later if we finish this series and decide to do another podcast on this series. So, all right.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know what to say. Let's see. Kusaka, he's a dick, but I mean, at some point in the show, I grew to like him.
And then he dies.
Don't say that. You're spoiling for people that haven't seen the show yet.
If they've already seen the Heisei vs. Showa Rider movie, they know that he dies.
Yeah. But that's like some alternate ending that never happened, and
retcon. It's retconning Faiz. Kamen Rider Tyson and retconning Faiz.
Darn it!
Yeah, that's some stupid ending that never actually happened in the first place.
Okay, so everybody ignore what I just said about him dying. We don't know if he dies or not. Okay.
Yeah.
So. Let's take this kind of individually piece by piece. So we're going to start with Takumi. Takumi!
I love Takumi. I feel like I can really relate to him, actually.
You know, the more that I watch this series, the more that I do, the more that I see that I can relate to him as well, in that I can come across as a complete ass. And I don't really care what you have to say. Go away. I don't care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I honestly... I can get that perspective too sometimes. I can definitely kind of see that sometimes I do come off as a bit of a selfish, arrogant prick sometimes, unintentionally.
I'm glad you
and I can also see the idea of him not really having a dream, like him kind of being on this journey to find out a dream, to find out what path he wants to take. Which is interesting because it's like that's a mindset that a lot of people have, is that they don't necessarily know what path they want to take, so they just kind of wander, and when they find something they really kind of strive towards it. And really Takumi doesn't necessarily have something to strive towards, and yet he says he doesn't really like responsibility because he doesn't want to be binded down to anything.
Yeah.
Right, and the one thing that I do like, one thing that and he's one of the ones that you definitely, just in the first 14 episodes, you do see the most character growth with him in that first 14 episodes. You see it with all of them, of course, but I see it more with Takumi, in that he goes from being this complete, arrogant, asshole and being standoffish to actually caring. Yes, he has a weird way of showing it, but he does care. So
You just can't tell.
yeah, if you you're just you kind of have to look deep down to kind of see it with him. But he is cool because I mean, in the first 14 episodes, there is a point where he says that he will not fight again, and that's when Kusaka says that he'll fight for him, and he begins to realize that some Orphnochs are not all bad. Like some just want to be left alone. Like they don't like this whole change thing, and so that's what he decides to fight for. He decides that he'll fight the ones that are being assholes and killing humans, but leave the ones that are Orphnochs but like humans, leave them alone. Which I find to be pretty cool.
That they believe that he believes in a sense that that they can Orphnochs and humans can coexist. The only bad part about that is that puts those Orphnochs on Smart Brain's radar. So
correct, it does.
They're not every Orphnoch is under Smart Brain's radar. There are Orphnochs out there that Smart Brain does not know about.
Interesting.
Like,
right.
and you will see because they're going. I feel like I'm spoiling it, but there's this one part.
It's fine.
And there's one part in the show where they reveal an Orphnoch, and that's where the whole show legit goes, "Fuck you."
Oh God. Oh,
that's
boy.
gonna be interesting.
That's where the whole show just is like, "Hey, you thought you knew what was happening? Nope. You don't.
Yay.
You'll never know."
You.
All right.
Never
so
know.
moving on, we have Mari. So she is the one that is actually given the Faiz belt.
Oh my God, Mari's so cute.
Thank you. Finally, someone actually says it before I do it. I'm like, yay, because yes, she is cute as a freaking button. Yeah.
She's like showing her boobs in a new movie. I can't wait.
Oh God. That's what I believe. I
And
cannot
then he
believe
pulls that. Okay.
I think it's on YouTube. Actually, you can literally look it up on YouTube and find it.
She goes.
No, there's already a picture of it on Facebook. I mean, on Google.
No. I mean like I mean like the video, like the entirety of the movie online.
Oh damn! Somebody fucked up.
Well, anyway, so we have her, and yes, as we all three agree, she is cute as a button.
Yes. Because Yuria Haga is awesome. Like, she is hot now, but then 11 years ago, she was just kawaii. But anyways, continue. Sorry. Going off on my hot girl tangent.
Her foster father, we'll talk about that later, sends the Faiz gear to her. She tries to use it, and she fails. Well, she's unable to use the gear. So that's how it falls into the hands of Takumi. This is what I find funny about these two. These two fight like an old married couple.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, you almost go looking, okay, where's the ring? Where's the ring? So, but it plays out well because their fighting back and forth gives them that character development that they need. So, and I like how her dream is to be a beautician, and she actually fights for her dream. As we see in one of the episodes, she goes multiple times to try to pass this test, and even though she fails it like the first time, she goes back again, pardon me, and again, because that's what she wants to do at this one particular place. And I find that awesome. Adrian,
Yeah.
Mr. Falcone, what do you think of Mari that you haven't already said?
I think Mari is like one of the few really strong female lead characters in Kamen Rider.
Agreed. I would have to
Agreed.
completely
all-
agree with you with that. It feels like a lot of I know this is just me complaining in a sense, but I'm just like, oh, a lot of the female characters kind of like, oh, woe is me, and I'm just like, no, don't even try, don't even pull that crap.
I'll be honest. I can only think of two that are real good, strong females in Kamen Rider. The first is
Who would that
Mari,
be?
and the second one is Hana from Dino.
Disagreed completely. You're missing one.
Those are the only two that I know. If you're talking about any of the ones from Double,
No,
Force
not from
8.
Double. Akiko isn't like that. Akiko, that's not what I mean.
Okay, what series?
Gaim! You're missing Mai!
Well. I'm leaving
Don't
her out
dispute
because
it.
I don't.
Let's move on. Adrian, say your thoughts.
Oh no, I'm going to dispute it because
No,
I don't
Adrian,
see her as
speak.
as a strong one. I do and I don't.
Please don't, CJ.
Really?
I don't
Wait,
see
what's
her on the
happening?
level of Mari.
Oh, we were talking about like that there are only two strong female leads in Kamen Rider really, and that being Mari and Hana, and I said disagreed. Mai's in that list too, and he's going like, eh.
Mai from
yeah,
Gaim.
I mean, really, how many female leads have you guys actually like seen?
I've seen a lot of them.
I've seen a few.
I've seen Mai, I've seen
In
Hana,
Kamen Rider.
I've seen Hina, I've seen Akiko, I've seen Yuki, Forza.
Yuki is, in my opinion, the weakest. Yuki and Akiko are like the weakest female characters ever.
Yeah, to be honest, yes, in a sense, yes.
I mean,
But anyways, we're hang on that. So either way,
Koyuki,
but yeah,
I don't know. Out of all, I think Mari is one of the strongest. Next to I always forget her name from Ryuki. The main female lead. I think it's Mai or me. The Kanzaki sister.
Anywho,
Okay.
so promise. Anything that you haven't said about Mari?
Me, you guys are very, very good at stealing my thunder.
I mean, you can always throw in an extra 2 cents that we probably didn't say.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, Mari is strong in her own right. She is a very strong. She's assertive. Of course, she's cute as a button. That's an expectation for Kamen Rider at this point. But either way, whatever the case is, she's actually a really good female lead. She's strong. She's charismatic. She's charming. She has this wit, and I don't even know how to describe. It's just she's just a strong female lead. It's hard. It's actually kind of rarer to see, as we talked about, strong female leads in Kamen Rider, and to have someone who's really, really strong, and have someone not physically strong, metaphorically strong, speaking, of course. Hina-chan. But to have a strong female lead, to have someone who really works, well, not necessarily works well, but, is good with character development-wise with the main male lead, and, just in general, is good. It's nice to be able to have that strong female lead in a show, instead of having the woe is me really type of female Kamen Rider girl, which I think has happened too many times to count in Kamen Rider, especially in the Heisei, Neo-Heisei era, which I will admit. Either way,
Yes.
that's really all I can say. I can't really say that much because you guys are just kind of stealing all my bolts of lightning here.
I'm like
All
watching Faiz right now, so rewatching it at least. And
Alrighty. So
Mari's like smart too. She's like not a dumb bitch.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
she isn't.
That's
She's
her.
very brilliant.
Yeah.
It's good to see smart.
And she's funny. She's just an all-around character that I very much enjoy, and I have no problems with her. I mean, there's really in Faiz, there was nobody that annoyed me very much.
Well, there's one that annoys the hell out of me right now, but we'll get to him later. Alright, next up on the list, we have Keitaro Kikuchi, a.k.a. honestly, I think of him right now as the glue. He's kind of like the but he's kind of like the middleman between Mari and Takumi, and he's kind of making sure that they don't kill each other. If you ask me, yeah, I have a feeling that if he were to just randomly disappear, those two would kill themselves. Like they almost tried to do in like the first 2 episodes. Constantly mixing up their bags and cussing each other out pretty much. I am surprised Takumi just did not slap her, which, you know, obviously he has more respect, which I commend him for. Yeah. So his dream, you know, because these two have a dream, is that he wants to make the world he wants to clean the world. His dream is
to teach the world to clean in perfect harmony. No kidding. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I will reach through this and I will slap you.
Sorry, I like to be an annoying little flea sometimes. I'm sorry. Continue.
So anyway, it's interesting how his character has developed, because he starts off just this sort of happy-go-lucky kind of person, and it's like if one small bad thing happens, it's like devastating to him. But even in the first 14 episodes, there have been some bad things that have happened to him, but he doesn't get all down about it. He just sort of picks himself back up and moves on right then and there, instead of having to kind of be drugged by the ears. So I like him. Like I said, he's pretty much the glue of the three. And his counterbalance with the other two really works really well. So I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to let Thomas talk. So what do you think of Keitaro?
How do I put it? Pretty much he definitely seems like really the... How do I put it? Really, to put it in this way, it's that it really does seem like the biggest purpose for him is really to keep Mari and Takumi from being at each other's throats, and he does well with that, and he has his own character and dream, and I think dreams, and this is just with Faiz in general, I think dreams is a huge part of the themes of the show, especially in the sense of Takumi not having much of a dream himself. So to have people around him that have this dream is a fascinating thing. So he definitely serves his purpose in the show well. That's really all I can really say for him. I can't really say anything more because you guys, once again, stealing my thunder. By the way,
I didn't steal your thunder. I haven't even talked yet.
I meant CJ. Yeah. CJ is very good at predicting what I'm trying to say and what thoughts are in my mind.
Well, the one thing that I do like about it is, that I do like about, you know, kind of going back to Takumi, you know, he pretty much says that he does not have a dream. So he has no problem protecting the dreams of other people. So even though he may not like what Keitaro is doing, because Keitaro tends to not necessarily be nosy, but he keeps on getting wrangled in to help with things from people that come into his dry cleaning shop. And I mean, even though I have a feeling Takumi can't stand it, he still goes along with it just so that he can, you know, keep his dream alive.
Agreed.
So
his dream has almost become to protect the dreams of others, which is kind of funny.
Right. Mr. Falcone, your thoughts.
Anyways, though, I'll be right back, though, so be right back. I'm having some technical difficulties.
I love Keitaro. Man, Yeah, whatever.
Whatever
Case
his name is.
I especially love later in the show when it's the Keitaro Kaito combo.
Actually, no.
Mm-hmm.
There's some point in the show where they become like best friends, and it's just like the greatest thing ever because they're so funny together.
Right.
Like, wait, Kaito's in the show. Yeah, he should be in the show right now. Where you guys are. If he's not in the show, then yeah, okay, he's definitely in the show.
Oh, he is.
I don't know if he's done anything crazy yet, like comedic, but.
Oh, no. Let's not talk about him. Let's not talk about him, because I have something I gotta say about him. So,
okay.
Let's hold off on him.
But yeah, at some point in the show, I was just like, Keitaro, why are you here? But then, I don't know, because at some point I thought he was just really stupid.
Why are you here?
Because I was like, dude, you're really stupid. But I don't know, he's just a fun character. I feel like he should have gotten one of the Kamen Rider gears that he did.
All right. So now, because we're kind of hitting these in order, we're going to talk about the 3 renegade Orphnochs, or for a little more explanation, Orphnochs. They are here to basically make more Orphnochs. The process is weird. There's 2 different ways that you can become one. One, you can either die of natural causes and come back to life that way as an Orphnoch.
That's rare, though.
Which is rare, yes. Which is also not relative, which is also not explained. So I hope that actually gets explained. And then the second way is to actually be killed by an Orphnoch and just hope to God that you survive. Because apparently it's a painful process to some degree in that if you die, you turn into dust.
Oh god, there are some funny ones of people dying and turning into dust because their acting is just over the top. Like, like when the Orphnoch King appears, he kills this other Orphnoch and then he just dies in the funniest way because the fire is because you know the blue fire that surrounds them. I don't know. No, sorry. This is like not really important. You'll just see it yourself. It's pretty funny because he's just screaming for no reason. He's like he's like almost foaming at the mouth, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
All right, who gave you rat poison?
It looks like he got sprayed with bear mace or something, but I don't understand.
God. But all right, so. We're going to talk about these guys kind of quickly because I mean we do know a lot about them, but we're going to kind of touch on them a little quickly so that we can kind of keep this right at an hour and a half. So first we're going to talk about Kiba, or the horse Orphnoch. So the way he comes about is he is actually in a car accident with his parents. He's driving, his parents are in the back seat. And this dumbass truck driver who should have just pulled over and fell asleep instead of hurting everyone, decided to keep driving and was falling asleep at the wheel, plows into the side of the car, kills the parents instantly, and so that puts Kiba in a coma for, 2 years?
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is he died. He just goes into straight-up cardiac arrest, heart stops, he flatlines, and then all of a sudden he wakes back up as an Orphnoch. And it's pretty cool. The transformation is kind of interesting. The thing that I like about, and this is kind of making a comparison to Kiva. The thing that I like about Kiva and what are we talking about? Faiz, is that the enemy have their evil-looking form, their demonic possessed-looking evil thing, but then they actually take on human form. Fangire and Kiva, they start off Fangire and then have a human appearance. Orphnoch, they actually are human, they die. They keep their human memories. They keep their human appearance. But then if they get pissed off, they can turn into this big, nice, hulking monster thing and do a lot of damage.
Only a few of those to actually get a second form of Orphnoch, though.
Well, that is true. I know Kiba, the one that we're talking about right now, he actually technically has like 2 different forms that he can take. Since he is a horse, he can either take on a normal, like the normal human form, or he can take on a centaur form, which is pretty interesting.
Yes.
So, he actually decides, even though he ends up killing 2 people as an Orphnoch, he actually decides in the end that he is not going to use his Orphnoch powers for killing humans. Because we find out that the goal of an Orphnoch is to make more Orphnochs. And he does not like that idea because it is killing humans and they don't deserve to die. So he vows that he's not going to use his powers to kill humans, which I think is actually pretty commendable. We've seen that in other Kamen Rider where the enemy does not want to do like the other enemies have done. And so to see that happen again, obviously, yes, this probably happened before a lot of the ones that we have seen, but for it to be seen even at this point in time is actually pretty awesome. So real quick, Thomas, your thoughts on Kiba?
I would have to.
Yuji.
Kiba Yuji, or Yuji in this case, or whatever. Yuji, I'm gonna call him.
Whatever.
I think not necessarily standard. Here's the thing. A lot of these things that I believe I would say that are standard, in the case of especially the beginning Heisei era, it isn't as standard then. It's a lot more standard now to have Kamen Rider people who are like, oh, I'm a villain, but I don't want to do what all the other villains have done. But for one of this, especially with him who has an actual backstory and has his reasons for what he does, that's really, really cool. Instead of just being a random baddie of the week or whatever that says, I just don't want to do this or I don't want to do that, that he actually, he has a big reason for doing what he does.
Let me ask you something real quick. When you say Neo Heisei era, do you basically mean anything that is decade on? So basically everything decade
Neo
before.
Heisei is double onwards. Double O's, Forze, Wizard, and Gaim, and then in this case Drive. That's all Neo Heisei.
Okay. So everything pre-Neo, or basically everything that's just considered Heisei, is everything from Kuga to Decade. That's what you mean by that, correct?
That's what well, technically all of it's the Heisei, but Neo Heisei is a subsection of Heisei, but either way. Anyway. But yeah, I think the Yuji is Yuki, however you pronounce his name. I think it's pretty interesting. I think the idea of, that his life has changed, that despite the fact that he was in a coma, that all of these people, their dreams and their morals, values, all the things that he did changed. And I still remember the first couple episodes, and I'm just like, whoever the woman, I think her name was Chie, I believe, was the woman that his girlfriend. I know it's been 2 years since he was comatose, but she's a bit of a,
bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's just, she's, it's just kind of frustrating.
Well, it's like we find out in later episodes. Her theme song could have been between one of 2 things. One, it could have been down, down, get around, I get around, or it could have been it could have been the song Gold Digger. It's like I'm not saying she's a gold digger, but she's not hanging around with cheap ass people.
It doesn't seem like it. And it's just like first or second episode, he finds out after he's woken up from a freaking coma of all things. She doesn't really even seem excited that he's back. She seems like it's almost like a bit of a like it's almost like, oh, you just came back from the store. How you doing? Stuff like that. That's what it felt like. Not the fact that he just woke up from a freaking coma.
For 2 years.
Yeah, for 2 years. And then she has this other guy that she's with. And then I believe the guy that she's with, the whole thing with the Orphnoch happens, and he gets turned into dust. She then goes, and these detectives come, and it's like, it's not me, and yes, it isn't her, but at the same time, she goes and says, that's the guy who killed it, and it's just like, what are you doing? Just no.
Well, so that we don't dwell on this much, but yeah, she was a little bit of a pain. Mr.
And that's, I think, one of the reasons why the development worked the way it did with Yuji, I believe is his name. Yuji.
Yeah.
That's how you pronounce it. Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure. Okay, Falcon Punch.
You want my opinion on Kiba?
Yes.
Kiba Yuji?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he was awesome. He is, in my opinion, one of the characters in the show that got legit the most character development.
Yeah. Well, I'll find that out as I go.
I know. I'm just saying, in the show, he is gonna get, I think, a lot more character. It's him and Taki are gonna get the most character development out of everybody.
Okay.
Because they have a thing, and I don't know. Akiba's is really cool. His Orphnoch form is cool. That's why I had. Here, I'll show you the box for it. This is the HDM box. As you can see, there's a Wizard Infinity, Agito, and Faiz. Hold on, Faiz and Kiba's in the background. You can't see him because he's gray. But here's the back of the box. This is what Kiba looks like.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then I have Faiz also, and I also have Agito. I think it's Trinity form.
Yeah.
Agito Trinity form.
That's
the only one I'm missing is Infinity, but that's like impossible to get. But I don't know. I really like Kiba. He's a really good I guess anti-hero. Because that's what I see him as, in my opinion. He's an anti-hero. He's a hero, but he's not a hero at the same time.
I like that. I like that term.
I also love the fact that he got a backstory in the very first episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even before we got anything having to do with Takumi.
Like, honestly, when I started Faiz, like, I thought Kiba was Takumi.
Yeah, I did too, but I knew since I watched Tyson, I knew that his name was Takumi, so I knew that wasn't the main protagonist. So
no,
yeah.
I didn't know. I saw Faiz a long time ago, so I didn't know who the hell he was. I was all like, oh, I didn't know Takumi was supposed to be Faiz or anything. I was all like, oh, I guess this is our main character. Oh wait, who's this other long-haired guy? Who's this chick? What's happening? Why did this guy just die? Why is he a horse now? And then at the end of the episode, I was all like, son of a bitch. Damn it, now I gotta watch the rest of this show.
Yeah. That's actually pretty much what's made me just want to watch the whole thing. It's like, ooh, let's go. Oh, it's awesome. Anyway, moving on. So next, we have Yuka. Osada Yuka.
Osada-san!
Yes, I kind of got tired of hearing her being called that. I was kind of ready for her to be called Yuka again. It's like, Osada, okay, when all you hear for like hours on end is like, oh, Osada, But anyway, so I like the way that they make her. I like the way that they develop her character before she becomes an Orphnoch. She's basically the hated child in their house. Michiko is the one that is loved and just, oh, we just love you, Michiko, and
I
we
really
hate
wanted
you,
to see her
Mika.
sister die. I really wanted to see her sister die.
Oh, I did too.
It's funny because I'm watching that episode right now.
But here's the blah, 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 as I stumble over my words. So she tries to use her abilities for good. She does, which I like. But there are instances where she has to kill. And the thing that I like about her, she's not just killing random people on the street who just, have no reason to die. She's killing basically bullies and, like, gangbangers and people who are bad people and who are trying to do damage. And she's killing those guys. She's not trying to kill, little nice person down here on the street. She's killing the bad mojo.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Falcone, we'll start with you.
Actually, I think it's unfair to start with me since I've seen the whole show. Let's start with Thomas. Is he still here?
Monsieur Thomas.
There, okay, my mic. I muted my mic, sorry. My bad.
Oh. Horrible little boy.
But yeah, Osada-san, interesting character. Once again, going back on the whole thing with dreams, how she dreams to live in a world where there is no fighting between all these other people and whatnot, and that she does have this backstory about being bullied, and that you can definitely relate to her story. And what I love is the fact that even though she is an Orphnoch, that she is actually, unlike a lot of Orphnochs do, it seems to me that it seems really awesome to me how she actually takes the initiative in trying to to pick and choose which people she really does kill. That she does kill, but she chooses who to kill. She doesn't kill, as you said, randomly, but she does kill. And she does kill those who she feels deserve to be killed, which is an interesting thing, which is, at least to me, a very interesting concept to think of someone who has that enough intelligence in their Orphnoch form to go and target specific people to kill, people who are bad guys, and actually use her powers mainly for good, which is awesome.
Right.
So yeah, that's really all I can really say is she's just an awesome character, like pretty much everyone else in this show.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Falcone.
Anyways, Adrian.
I think they killed her in one of the worst ways. The way that she turned into an Orphnoch.
Yeah, she slipped and fell down the stairs. It was either she slipped and fell or she was pushed.
No, she slipped. I just saw it right now.
Okay.
It was snowing and she slipped and fell down. So a lot of stairs.
Yeah.
I'm glad she didn't make it all the way down, because that's like 2 or 3 flights of stairs right there. But
right.
Like, she woke up and her ears were bleeding and stuff. It's like,
yeah.
If it wasn't for that whole thing in Japan where they're not allowed to use that much blood anymore, there would be a lot more blood there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I really hated her family. And when they introduced her, I wanted her family to die. And when she turned into an Orphnoch, I wanted her to go back home and just kill them.
You know, I kind of felt the same way. I was ready for that. I was ready for me. I was ready for Michiko to lose her head. I was
was just
seriously
about
ready.
ready to.
I
But
was.
she did something just as good. She went
That
back to
is-
school and killed all the bullies.
Yeah, I liked that. It's like, hey, that's what you motherfuckers get. It's like you gonna die, slice. And none of them came back. They all turned into dust.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on.
Oh, plus her Orphnoch form is pretty cool. I think she's a swan. That's right.
Crane.
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 Yep.
Close enough.
Kind of. So
They're both
moving
birds.
on to the last renegade Orphnoch, we have Naoya Kaido. The first thing that I have to say about this mofo. Did either of y'all think this dude was exceptionally like a combination between drunk and high the first time that he gets introduced?
Whenever he's introduced him, I was all like, "What is up with this guy? Why are you doing the things you're doing? I don't understand." I legit thought he was like a Japanese hippie or something. I don't remember what I thought.
This was what I thought. Okay, when I first saw him, I'm thinking, okay, what drugs have you mixed together? You are high as fuck. This is not good, bro. You know, so it just like, oh god, he's high. There's something wrong with this dude. He's gonna die. And sure enough, he did die. And then he turned into a snake. Which this is one thing that I do like about his Orphnoch form. You know, he's kind of got that punky hippie, or that punky kind of biker aspect to him. They even gave his Orphnoch form a vest. I liked it.
Yes.
They let him keep his kind of punky aspect. They let him keep that in his Orphnoch form, which by far is awesome. So, all right, Thomas, you're up.
Kaido. I have no words. Your thoughts, Falcon?
I think well, the actual actor himself is a pretty good actor.
Oh
yes.
He's a great actor. He's the Juzo in Shinkenger or something like that.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Don't tell me. Do not.
Yes, it is. That is Juzon.
Oh! I remember now. I just realized. Oh,
I did not put two and two together until you said
I didn't
that. And then I
either
looked
until
at the
just.
face, and it's like, holy shit, that is him.
Yeah. Holy.
He goes
Juzo,
from,
my man.
he goes from being
and
not to that thing.
And he's actually, we actually said this in I think our very first podcast, or one of the few.
We did a report on him being in like the Guy movie or something.
Yeah, he's gonna be in the Guy movie. I was pretty excited about that because I haven't seen that guy in forever.
Well, if his acting is still up to par like this, yeah, he needs to come back like now because
I don't think he ever really lost his acting because I remember I saw him do like a gay role, and like it was a gay role. He was legit making out with the dude.
Okay,
I think
nothing wrong with that.
he was almost about to like get down and just like have sex with him or something like that. But I was all like, whoa.
What are we talking about? What is this podcast evolved into?
Wait a minute. This is Super Sent. This is Toku Talk, not sex
I'm just saying he's a really good actor. He's just that good of an actor.
Okay.
Let's see. I think his Orphnoch is his. Also, I feel like he was the most renegade of the renegade Orphnochs.
Yeah, he's kind of bounced around because he went from like not knowing what the fuck was going on to hating humans and wanting to attack humans to attacking delinquent, or to what Smart Brain called delinquent Orphnoch, and you're just it's just.
Did he get the Faiz gear yet?
Yes.
Okay.
He's gotten it, and he's lost it.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're, because that would have just been a major spoiler, and you guys would be like, "Wait, what? He gets the Faiz gear?" And I would be like, "Sorry, you're almost there at least."
Yeah, he's gotten it, and he's lost it.
Well, I'm just gonna say that is not the only gear he's gonna get, by the way.
Oh, I've already looked into it. I know.
Yeah.
I've kind of made a spoiler for myself. I shouldn't have, but I did anyway.
Okay, I want to get into the Faiz gear for a second. Do you know how only very few people could actually use the Faiz gear?
Yes, and I know why, and I'm not saying it.
I will not say it either, but I know as well.
Oh, you guys suck. Why are you guys looking into this? Like, you're supposed to be surprised. This is what I watched the whole show without knowing what was happening, except for blaster form. That's the only thing I knew what was gonna happen, and I didn't know how very little was gonna appear in the show though. But
here's the thing. I don't know how it happened to the main guy. I don't know how it happened to Takumi. I don't know how it happened to Kazuma. I don't know that. I just know that it happened. And that's the reason why a certain thing can be used.
Same here.
So, yeah.
Well, for Takumi's it was weird. They explained it, but they didn't explain it. You just have to watch it. Kaito-san. Kaito's funny. Oh god, he's funny. Or no, I said Kaito. Kaido-san. He's like, I think him and Keitaro are just the comic relief of the show.
They are.
That mixed in with a little bit of Mari and Takumi's bickering.
Yes.
Oh god, I don't know. I just really love this show. I like it a lot.
I do as well. Just what I have watched of it. So, all right. So we're done with.
Plus he's.
All right.
Oh, sorry. He's just a really like sporadic character. He's just all over the place. You don't know what the hell he's gonna do next. Really, you don't.
Yeah.
Unless you're like, you're you two would just go looking into the show without, because you're terrible people.
All right. So.
Wait, are we gonna talk about the Lucky Clover at all?
We can. I was kind of going to sort of gust over them a little bit, but not give them much airtime.
I think you're the leader of this podcast today. You do what you want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, just hopefully don't make it too long, because I have to go to bed soon.
So we're now, and we're going to finish this up with this guy. We're going to talk about the biggest asshole motherfucker there is. Kusaka Masato. This dude is.
I hate to do this. I normally wouldn't do this on camera, and I normally wouldn't do this at anything else, but. Okay? I did it. Okay?
I cannot stand this guy. I want to punch him in his punk little face. I want him to die. I want him to die. I want him to die.
This is a worse grudge than Michi will ever have. Michi does not have anything on this guy.
Are you serious?
Spoiler alert. I will say that yes, if you have watched Gaim and you are caught up with Gaim, you will know that Michi has turned into a complete dick. Alright? In my personal opinion, this motherfucker is 200 times worse.
Yes.
Did you guys know about the novel?
About the what?
The Faiz novel?
No! I've not heard about that. You shut your mouth. We'll talk about that one later.
No, it's just one thing. In the novel, Kusaka rapes Mari. And guess what? The novel is canon to the show.
CJ, you look like you have the phase that you're about to kill someone. Mainly Kusaka.
Well, looks like that's not bitches die. All right.
Hold on, wait.
Okay,
You're getting the Faiz gear, right? You're getting the Faiz gear, right?
I'll be getting that soon. Yes.
Once you get the
I'm gonna go
Faiz gear, you can just chase Kusaka and you can find him somehow, and then you can go kill him for the rape of Mari. Such a cute girl.
No. Here's what I want to do. I'm gonna go get Mr. J from the Lucky Clover. I'm gonna go get him to do the same thing to him.
Oh God,
he
Mr.
did to Mari.
The dude hit one line in the entire show. Choco.
We'll talk about him since he's been more prominent. We'll talk about him. But we're going to hit on this motherfucker right now. All right. This is the first time that I have used that word so much in a while, so you will have to overlook me right now, Mr. Our wonderful, faithful viewers. This dude straight up needs to be hit in the face with a baseball bat covered in nails and glass and make every bit of it rusted. Then he needs to be hit in the feet with a megaton hammer from Legend of Zelda, and then he just needs to be steamrolled. He needs to experience all sorts of pain.
You mean Kusaka?
Yes, yeah. Kusaka.
Thank you.
I swear, this dude is a huge-ass two-timer. He says one thing, he'll say and do one thing to Takumi, but then he tries to play, oh, I'm the victim. Oh, I'm the victim.
Oh God! Shut up, you freaking!
And when he's around, when he's talking to Takumi, and then Mari and Keitaro walk in, he's like, oh, I'm the victim. He hurt me. He's being all big and bad and evil. And I just want to reach through my screen and be like, hey, Kusaka, turn to your right. Wham! Back upside his punk little bitch face. I have never wanted, I'll put it this way. At one point in time, I wanted Michi's rat ass and Gaim to die. A brutal, painful, horrible death. And right now, I want Michi to live because I want that painful, horrible, most ultimate death to happen to Kusaka. It needs to
Can it happen to both?
No!
Yes!
I think Michi's dying anyway.
A painful, ultimate, untimely mega death can only happen once. And so it needs to be saved for Kusaka. It needs to be saved for that punk ass bitch.
I will find a way to multiply said death, whether Kusaka dies, Michi dies.
If you want Kusaka if you want him to die, you go just go rewatch Kamen Rider Tyson.
That is true, but that's not what happened apparently.
Retcon.
No.
Anyways,
I want to be the one to hold the sword and just shove it in. Just come here, little Mr. Heart. Poke. I want to poke your heart. Poke, 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 poke. Ram!
Goodness. Well, now that we're done with...
If you can't tell, I don't like this dude. I really don't like this dude.
Oh
I think we should go to our final thoughts and then the shameless plugs, and then we need to go.
Well, hang on a minute. That's my rank, the bastard. What about you two?
Thomas, you want to throw in?
I have no words. He's a douchebag. No questions asked.
Say it. Just say it. You want the motherfucker to die.
No, not saying it.
Well, okay. Don't word it exactly that way, but just say you want the motherfucker to die.
You gotta admit, his acting
freaking douchebag
is really good.
Okay, fine. If you want to be honest, I want the freaking douchebag to die because he kind of deserves it. And now that I heard about that novel, I want him 200 times more to die. Seriously, forcible rape on Mari? Why? Why?
Yeah, that is a real thing. It even says it in the Kamen Rider Wiki.
What? I have to look this up. Give me a moment.
I believe it says. Actually, I'm not actually. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. I just go look for it anyway. But it is what happens.
Look at my pissed face, people. You see this pissed face?
Hold on. They can't see the pissed face yet. They can't. Now they can see the pissed face.
He needs to die.
Anyways, what were you saying?
Mr. Falcone, go ahead.
I actually like Kusaka.
He makes a great anti-hero. Okay, the one thing that I do have to say, even though I don't like the dirty rat bastard, the one thing I do have to admit is that if he serves no other purpose in the series, he serves the purpose of making Takumi want to do better and be better and prove that he can do better. Because, you know, it's that whole aspect of it's almost like a sibling rivalry between the two of them, even though they're not siblings. Because, you know, there is that whole instance of, you know, he says this one thing here, but then he turns around and lies and says another thing over here. So, you know, I can see why his character is the way he is. However, couldn't they have waited a little bit later? Well, no, I'm actually kind of glad they didn't. I'm glad they went ahead and made me want to go ahead and prepare my guillotine. So, yeah. Anywho,
anyways,
final thoughts. I'm going to go last. I'm going to let Adrian go first. Your final thoughts, since you are the one that has seen the entire series. Final thoughts on the series.
I love Faiz so much. I love it. It's a really great story. Lots of really good character development. There's a lot of fucking plot twists. There's so many plot twists. Son of a bitch. Oh god. Oh, there's some really good, you know, tropes in there and whatnot. There's there's like I forgot what the hell. Oh, the hidden message is nice, you know, dreams, and I don't know. There's like some love triangle. They pretty much hit everything in that show. Like there's even a love triangle at some point. It's not even a love triangle. It's actually more of a all the main characters have a crush on somebody that's a main character, and it's just entirely fucked up. It's crazy. And then I'm just, you know, just don't get attached to anybody because they probably won't last.
Okay, so real quick before you do yours, Thomas, our friend Volt, who, like I said, was unable to make it, he is watching though, and he commented, "Kusaka is no hero, no anti-hero, no villain. He is simply a Kusaka, king of the douchebags and lord of trolls." And my God, is he right?
Oh wow,
final thoughts.
That is what he said. Wow, okay.
Wait, what did you guys say?
Final thoughts for you, Thomas? It's a love rhombus. It's a love.
There we go. He knows what it is.
A what? A what?
A love.
It's a love rhombus.
Mr. Noah, Mr. Volt, since you are watching, you are awesome. Thank you for that. Okay. All right, Thomas, your final thoughts.
Okay. To put it simply, Gaim is awesome. Not Gaim. Well, what am I doing?
You're not entirely wrong. You're not entirely wrong. Gaim has a lot of spies Faiz.
Yes, I would have to agree, but
Yeah.
Faiz, to put it simply, to put this in less than a minute. Very slow to start, but picks up speed fairly quickly. Good characters, good development, strong leads, very strong leads. Great villains, great renegade Orphnochs, good designs, good fights, good themes, good everything. Also, music is top notch. Music is awesome, per usual for Kamen Rider. So yeah, I'm so far enjoying this series. All I hope is that it doesn't screw it up. That's the only thing I hope. But either way, CJ, your thoughts?
Wrong show. Thomas.
Wrong show.
My final thoughts are the series has honestly done something that I have not seen in a while with Kamen Rider. Going back talking about Gaim, we do talk about that one a lot, but that is because that is the current Rider series.
And because it has a lot of elements of every other writer.
Yes, but the main thing that I have an issue with Gaim is it's the only issue that I did have with it. Is that...
Wait, did you say Gaim?
Yes, with Gaim, and give me a second, because there is a reason, is that the development took 10 episodes. With Faiz, it was not that much, but it did have a slow start to it, because I figure most everyone that is watching this has at least seen some of Gaim. So you know that Gaim had a very slow start. Faiz kind of has a slow start. But once it gets going, it just grabs hold of you and drags you by a leash and just says, "Follow me, watch me, nothing else. You are mine." And you're just like, "Uh-huh." I mean, that's the way it has become. And as we keep on getting more and more writers added to the line, it's freaking amazing to see it. I mean, the character development. We have seen more character development in this series in the first 5 episodes than what I have seen with other writer series, which I like. So, yeah. All right, we're moving on to our last bit, and that's our wonderful shameless plugs. Adrian, you start us off.
Welcome to the Lucky Clover.
Well, it's just Let's Talk Toku. There's really not much on that channel so far. I mean, really, how much content have all of us put out yet? It's not a lot. We're still starting out.
Anything.
I've put out some.
I've put out okay. CJ and I have both put out more than Thomas.
Yes, I've put out nothing because I'm doing school and I'm a lazy bastard sometimes.
Well, I'm on the. I know I said this last week, but I am on the final touches of my next episode. All I gotta do is throw in an intro and an ending. Where there's really just an intro and there's some random pictures in there. But that's about it. Just Let's Talk Toku. It's pretty funny. Moving on.
Me, of course, DeviantArt, Toku Buster, all the other stuff down below-y stuff. Don't really want to go into detail, but I also am gonna promote the Otaku Blogger, Stubby's blog when he's not here. I'm gonna promote Noah's stuff wherever he's doing. He does IT work and all of that, in the Seattle, Washington area, whatnot. Either way, I believe that's where he lives, right? Lives in Washington, right? Okay, Washington State. Okay. He does IT work there.
He only lives like 30 minutes away from me.
And you can go on his website, which is and you can go on his website, which is tweaksquad.net, or I forget what his email is, but
all of it's in the description though.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all in the description, so
It's okay. He'll message us anyway, telling us how much we messed up his shameless plug.
Yes. Noah, we're sorry. My shameless plug is the same as always. I have the Kamen Rider, or not the Toku Toy reviews that I do. I know there are a lot of them out there, but I added a bit of a different twist on it, I think, because I kind of go into the backstory of the toy and the series that it's in. So I find that to be pretty interesting and pretty new to the whole scheme of things. I am still learning, and I am still trying to get my hands on a decent camera to where I'm not having to hold the thing. I am working on it.
Yeah, let's get a camera stand.
Pardon?
Or just get a camera stand.
Well, I'm looking into getting something off of Amazon that will work on my phone. So we're getting there. So anyway, I'm actually going to put a question down in the
Not forgiven.
In the comment section. I'm going to put 3 different things in there, and so we're going to get user feedback, at least for my shameless plug. Pick one of the 3 to that you want me to review, and then I'll have another one, and we'll have 3 different ones that we can review for this series, for the podcast. So we'll look at that. All right. With all of that said and done, I think we are good to go. Once again, I am CJ. I have been your wonderful host. I love you all. You are all amazing people for watching us, and I hope you all have a good evening.
We just gotta do it one more time before we go.
Alrighty.
Okay.